right, we should be up and running here. Both platforms should be live. We got about 6 seconds until the close here, so you're going to hear the closing bell here in just a second. All right, there it is. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for March 11th, 2022. IWM down 1.6. But usually not our focus. Our focus is the Qs and the SPY. Qs down 2%. SPY down 1.25. We talked about yesterday, if we take out the pivot that we got, then all out bearish, and that is where we're at. All out bearish back to the Qs and SPY. We've been talking about ever since this rally and since this move up yesterday afternoon, is the market going to try to double bottom? It could, but because we're in a downtrend, I always need to see more from the move up, from the bullish move, than from the move lower because, right, the trend is down, okay? And so in order to end that trend, there's more proof that I got to see of bullishness, okay? So we did go to neutral after this first move up. We stayed neutral coming into today, and then we said, if we take out yesterday's low, then we'll be back to bearish. Okay, we could gap up, we could do something else on Monday, but I'm gonna stay bearish into Monday. If we get a gap up, we'll see what that ends up doing. We'll deal with that on Monday morning. But anything else besides like a really big gap up over today's high, I am remaining bearish. All right, going into Monday, so bearish for the weekend. All right, let's go over today's plays. Now, I did call this CLSD. I like this gap up quite a bit. Gap up, trying to end the downtrend. These are the kind of things that we've been playing a lot of lately, okay? Played it as a morning breakout. Now, one thing about today that I thought made it pretty challenging was that I couldn't quite get the big moves, okay? So first, I had this breakout here, and then struggled a little bit, but it definitely looked like it was going to go here. Okay, so I don't know how much this was up when it did this. I decided to stick with it and let it fail if it was going to fail. Eventually did fail. Okay, so I did take a stop on this CLSD. Okay, eventually came in. But was up okay. And I felt like today there was a lot of that. Some really nice stuff, but nothing that really became a really nice runner. SMSI was something I mentioned later on. Was looking to play the sell setup. And didn't want to go. I think I lost like a penny on it or something because it looked like it was going to flip. And then even when it eventually did break down, right, it actually popped right back up. So while these are nice moves to catch, and then the flips are nice as well, I thought there was a lot of that today. I even played the CLSD again in the afternoon. Gave you the numbers for it, told you I was playing it, right? And we got one move and then came all the way back down. So I ended up closing it at the end of the day for a little gain. I'm sure some people played it and took it, up towards the top because it was over an R and it was kind of nice. But I was definitely looking for more on this kind of move up or on this kind of gap. Nothing really in the afternoon like the HYMC yesterday. Okay, HYMC moved up, but then also came in a lot. So not as many sustained moves, some big moves here and there, but not quite like what we've seen, at least the last few days. So a lot of scalps. The VET, not VET, VSTM was one. I know quite a few people played this one as well with me. Was a base breakout here. But once the level 2 looked good, I was just like, I'm just going to manage it off the level 2. Level 2 actually looked like it was going to flip at 49, so I got out at 48. And then it made one more penny and then came in. Even if you were playing this as a chart trade, though, definitely want to be aware when you get this big volume pop and then you get an inside bar, right? That probably that's the end of the move. Okay? That's that classic breakout failure pattern that we see all the time, especially when the volume bar is the biggest one on the chart. Okay, so definitely have to be aware of that, especially if you play a lot of breakouts. Okay, I liked the what was it, the BSFC as well. Thought that was a pretty nice setup here. Pull back into the afternoon. Got pretty choppy. Okay. So overall, I thought it was kind of just like a choppy day. And moves were not fluid at all. TLYS was weak, but you see actually closing back pretty close to, that opening range again, even though this was a pretty decent gap. A little bit oversized. I think really only need a gap under like 11, just a little bit too big there on that one. And so, a lot of these, GFAI had a big move in the morning, right? And this is another daily transition. It's interesting. Big move in the morning, but look at how it closed, right? So not a lot of nice trends. Now, to the downside, especially the Chinese ADRs, there were quite a few. YMM, okay, stayed pretty weak all day. The DIDI stayed pretty weak all day. So there were some of these Chinese ADRs, if you caught them early enough. Okay, some of these were pretty big moves. And so that may have been the mistake that I made today, is that I didn't play these. I didn't go after them aggressively. Was really kind of looking for stuff that I'd seen all week, which were some of these lower price names transitioning on the daily to put in big moves. And it just ended up today, there weren't quite as many in any that I could catch. Okay. So, we'll see how things go. The market right now is definitely in flux, right? We've been seeing how the hourly on the market hasn't really been able to establish a trend very well, okay? But now, back to bearish. So does that lead to the next leg down? Does that lead to maybe a little bit more fluidity? Hopefully. I thought, though, a lot of choppy stuff today. All right, but hopefully you had a good week overall and you did well today. All right, we'll be back at it on Monday, and I'll talk to you then. Have a good weekend.